There we go. Okay, so I wasn't actually calling. I had made a miniature video earlier, and then I stopped recording. So thank you, Michael, for that. I do appreciate it. Um, so pretty much today we're going to touch on Jotform again, just because we get a lot of people confused about it. It's a tool that everyone wants to utilize, but it's not something that everyone got to grips with in that first training. So we're just going to touch on that again, and then we'll do a Q&A as usual. And if you've got any questions, that's awesome. If you have any technical questions, again, please write a ticket out for them and send that through to development. And you can write that ticket, obviously, through the help button on the staged members area. So that's, where am I? There we go. So through help here, and then you just create a ticket. I've got my little join me training thing always bloody in the way. Create a ticket, and then from there we'll do our best to answer your queries and questions and hopefully sort you out. Awesome. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to talk about Jotform. I'll show you effectively what it looks like on a stage. So you'll see here, this is a campaign that I'm putting together for a local tattooist who goes by the name of Sin City Smitty. If you've heard a more appropriate name for tattooer, I would love to hear it. Anyway, so he wanted a way to capture information from people visiting the stage so that he could set up an appointment with them, get in touch, find out what they want, etc., etc. And so we obviously added Jotform onto the open form widget, and then he was able to, you know, pretty much have this on his campaign. So when someone fills out his information, Bryn, and then the email is bryn@gmail. It's not really, but I just don't want you guys emailing me. No, I'm joking. And then you submit. Cool. So that goes through to Sin City Smitty. He can then reach out to me, and we can touch base and build a relationship. And you can hopefully see how that would be useful across pretty much every application for what stage can be used for. You know, it's all about reaching out. It's all about engagement. You know, it's about creating that relationship. And Hayden, the president of the company, is really, really good at, you know, going into his Twitter account and building those relationships and making sure that his group that are following him are engaged, his market is engaged. And Jotform is a really good way to do that without having to be as proactive as logging in and messaging people. So, yeah. More like what happened in Vegas did not stay in Vegas. Yeah, Sin City Smitty. He's got a checkered background. I've met him once or twice. He's a really, really nice guy. But I don't think there's even like a Smith or a Smitty in his actual name. So I'm not sure where the Smitty came from, but it's catchy. Anyway, so let's go into our campaign, and I'll show you sort of what it looks like. So again, it's literally just the same way presented on the actual campaign builder. And all we've got in here, we've got a little piece of JavaScript. And the JavaScript is effectively what populates that widget with our email form. So how we create that JavaScript, unless you're a highly technical JavaScript writer, codey type person, it's going to be a bit difficult. So what we need to do is we need to go to Jotform, and there's a lot of websites out there. I know MailChimp also does a service like this. They're a little bit more full on, and they offer a wider range of services. But if you're like me and you just want to create a quick form to chuck on a campaign, Jotform I think is the way to go. So I'll head over to Jotform here. As you can see, I've created a few already for myself and for some friends and for some users. So all we need to do is go to jotform.com. If you haven't built a form yet, it'll pretty much just put you right on the page where you need to be to create this form. But if you have created a form, you need to come through to create form. Awesome. And we're going to go blank form again. You can use templates. You can import a form. Importing a form, again, only really works if you've sort of like got the JavaScript already. Using a template works if you want to use sort of like, you know, as the name intimates, a template. I like to start from scratch because it means that you can customize it fully in the same way that you would customize a campaign. And we all like getting our fingers in it because we're all, you know, stage users, and we love that experience of being able to cater to our specific market and be really engaging. So I'm going to go blank form. Awesome. Okay, so what we are presented with here is effectively a blank screen. You can see there's a lot of little options. When you think about it, it actually kind of looks like the campaign builder, which is really interesting. You know, you've got your widgets over here, and then I suppose you can get the details for the widgets up here. So this would be like it shows social targeting, maybe, I'm not too sure. Maybe it's clutching at straws there. Anyway, so I mean, let's start off by making a heading. Again, you don't have to do this. I see a lot of people who sort of just do like a name or an email, but I like to add a heading to give a bit of context. So maybe it can be, we'll just say, want more information, question mark. Awesome, that looks perfect. And then what else do we need? We want to go to our quick tools down here. This effectively takes the need for me to write anything out of it if I use a quick tool. So I can go full name, and then I can also go email. And literally, that's our form. It looks good from a visual point of view. Obviously, right now it's not in the campaign, so I'll have to edit that a little bit later. But for what this capture form, you know, needs to be is name, email, submit. You know, we've already ticked that off, and we've been on Jotform for all of 20 seconds. So what we can look to do now is make sure that it fits within the parameters of our campaign builder, of our stage. And if we're going to put it on that right side, that sort of narrower margin here, what we're going to need to do is ensure that it fits within the parameters of that. And I believe the width for these is 300 pixels wide. So we're going to have to make sure that our form fits nicely into that 300 pixel parameter. So we're going to go back into Jotform. We're going to go back to setup and embed, and we're going to go into our designer. So designer is effectively the way that you change what it looks like. You change the colors, you change the size. So design is where we want to go to make sure that this fits our campaign. And this was one of the big issues we had with someone who was trying to adopt Jotform, that they couldn't get it to fit their campaign. And, you know, through extension of that, it became effectively redundant. We didn't touch on it too much last week. So like I said, that's why we're going back through it again. So let's go into our designer. Bear with me. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so here we have almost like a little sort of Photoshop-y type deal here, where we can click and we can edit and we can, you know, really just change every aspect of the form we've just built. But what we want to go to is we want to go form layout. Now the form layout obviously denotes the entire form, not just one, you know, particular aspect, not the submit button or anything like that. And we're going to change that form width to 300. Awesome, that looks nice. It's made everything snug. And what that's going to do now is it's going to make it compliant with the campaign parameters that we have on stage. So that's going to effectively, you know, in its current format, be okay to use in stage. But what we might want to do, you know, we can come up here into the color scheme. We can change the background. We can make it like a nice red, and we can, you know, you can edit it as many ways as you want. I tend to do like a little transparency type deal. I think that looks quite neat when you've got it sort of just hovering above your background. Also reveals a little bit more of the background, which is sometimes sort of overtaken by widgets. So yeah, I mean, it's completely customizable. You can add an image into the background, and all you need to do is, you know, paste a link or upload the image, and then that will populate behind the text as well. Cool. So I think that for whatever reason, that salmon pink looks quite fetching. I think Sin City Smitty is going to love it. So we're going to go save changes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our builder. So all that's left to do is make sure that when someone fills out their information in this Jotform, it's going to go somewhere that that we're going to be able to access it. And the best place for these emails to go through would in theory be your own email, I assume, unless you're expecting thousands upon thousands of forms to be filled out. You should be able to handle them if they go through to your inbox. So we're going to go emails, and we're going to go add a new email. We're going to go notifier, obviously, because we want to be notified when, obviously when someone fills out the form. And so we'll just go Bryn Sco. There we go. Awesome. And then we'll go finish. So this is the format that it's going to come through in your email. It's going to say Jotform, full name, email, and then it's going to have their data populated in here. And then from there, you can go ahead and build a rapport, build a discussion, find out what they want, hopefully be able to give it to them, and make a good friend along the way. Who knows? So we'll finish that up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get the source code. So the source code, again, is that little piece of JavaScript that pretty much has all of the information that we've just put into Jotform, and it's compiled it down into a little nice piece of code. And so what we want to do is we want to grab that code, and we'll copy that, and then we'll go into our campaign builder. I'll get rid of this one. We can start afresh, and we'll go, oh, you need to wait for that to load. What you doing, mate? Huh, there we go. Awesome. So we'll click to add the form widget. Now the form widget, again, is just a blank box, and we can put whatever we want in it. So we're going to add some code. There we go. Oh, sorry, my Mac is slowly but surely passing on to the afterlife, and I need to treat it with the utmost care. So bear with me while it sort of like frizzles about a little bit. Awesome. Okay, so we'll save that. I'm going to click that again. Sorry guys, just bear with me while that goes through. Here we go. Maybe I won't close Jotform because I might need to revisit that. Let me just get out of there. I'll do that again. Sorry guys. Here we go. Awesome. Cool. So that worked first time. Great. Well, not second time, but that's just my computer. Awesome. Okay, so what you can see is you've got my lovely sort of like hot salmon form on Sin City Smitty's tattoo page. Anytime people fill out their information here, it's going to go through to his email, and from there you can build up a dialogue. And so as you might have seen before when I went into my forms, you know, I've got a whole lot of topics here. Most of them are obviously sort of just want more information, let's get in touch type of deals. But an important one that I have on most of my personal stages is want to know more about Stage. And so that gets me in touch with someone. I can start building a discussion with them. I can tell them what Stage is all about. I can tell them my results on Stage. And then through there, hopefully they'll sign up and I'll get that nice monthly referral commission, which we all know and enjoy. Awesome. And then if we update this is obviously this is our live stage that Sin City Smitty has got on the internet right now. He's going to love checking that in about 5 minutes to see that his pleasant, transparent gray that was moody and emotive has been changed to hot pink. But the outcome is still going to be the same. He's still going to be able to get people's emails. He's still going to be able to get in touch and be engaging. And that really concludes the content that I wanted to focus on today. Again, this is being recorded, so we will come back and, you know, post this up somewhere where it's easily accessible, because I think once we're using external applications like Jotform to create that code, it can go a little bit too deep for some people. So thank you for bearing with me on this one. It's just something that I needed to revisit before too many people came through and needed help on it. Going forward, from not the end of this week, but the start of next week, we're going to do trainings in a slightly different format, in which there's going to be sort of like a beginner, intermediate, and advanced training, and that's going to take place every week. So the beginner obviously is because someone coming in today who might not know or might not be at this stage of staged yet, you know, this is going to go a little bit above their heads, and we don't want it to be too overwhelming. So we're going to break it down. So some of our more experienced users, like Wayne, who's absolutely dynamite at Stage, he might still want to come onto the beginner trainings, but you know, we can let him know that it might not be necessary for him to be there if we're just building a Twitter account, or we're, you know, showing you how to create a Stage group. But yeah, like I said, that concludes the training for today. Thank you all for joining me. Again, sincerest apologies for the time difference. Appreciate that, Stacey. Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. And it's just going to, you know, let you guys as users also plug in your friends, because, you know, I've got people, I'm from New Zealand. Thank you, Hayden. I'm from New Zealand. And so I've got people from New Zealand who I've said, you know, Stage is incredible. You know, I do my best at explaining it. And then I try and plug them into a training like this, just so they can see me working with it. Obviously, I'm a trusted and lovely person, so they think if Bryn's doing it, I can do it. But, you know, when they come on, if the content I'm showing them is a little bit too too techy or it's too staged intensive, it might ward them off, if anything. So this is a good opportunity for you guys as well. If you've got someone who's thinking about stage, to plug them into that beginner training that, like I said, will be starting from next week. And we'll release a more detailed schedule on that. When are we going to do the Pixlr training again? Well, Ross and I can talk about that. We can probably do that on the Thursday. Wait, yes. Is it Friday? No, Friday training, I think, would be the one. We've got some content that we want to visit on that day that we've already had planned out, but we'll go through Pixlr on that day also, specifically for you, viewer 4. Yeah, exactly. It's yeah, well, I mean, once you get hands on with it, it becomes second nature to you. But the initial uptake, like with Stage itself, there is a bit of a learning curve. But once you get all the tricks and the tips, you'll be doing incredibly in no time. So yeah, I mean, unless anyone has any more questions, that concludes it for today. We have a sales overview on Thursday, and we also have our next training, which is on Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard. No more time changes this week, I hope. So 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, I suppose that's it for today. No worries, Wayne. All right, everyone, well, have a good day. It's awfully sunny here in Las Vegas. So I'm going to go outside and get a tan so I can be ready for summer. And hopefully when you guys come visit me, I'll be looking my tip-top best. I'm absolutely joking. I'm pasty white and I'll get sunburnt. Okay, all right, guys. Well, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will talk to you on Friday. Hayden can't wait. I know you can't, mate. Looking forward to it. Salivating at the very prospect. All right, guys. Have a good day. See you later.